else first. Let me get this all set up. The screen share, and that's with Math 2.5. And I think I'll go on and get set up with the whiteboard, because that's, I think, where we're going to start today. So let me get these toolbars, taskbars, whatever you call them. Okay, 2 people are in the waiting room. Let me get those in. PC and Anaya. Okay. I'm pretty sure PC is Shamari and Anaya. So they're okay. 6. Okay, we got 6 people here. That's enough for a volleyball team. Okay. Yep. Okay. Now we're still sort of getting things set up here. I was trying to answer emails as fast and furiously as I could before class, and I lost track of time. So let's move this on over. Okay. Now, we are recording already, and before we get to any questions, because we have so few people here, goodness, everything I say I want more people to hear. But let me just mention this, and remind me to mention this again before the end of class. Okay? I think I've said it before, but in case I didn't, this is really important for everyone in the class to hear. So share it among your friends, even people not in this class. They finally got the student course evaluations open. Okay? They had a lot of trouble with, guess what? Banner. Banner was not cooperating and working well with the Smarty valves. That's the package that we use. They finally got it fixed either the week before Thanksgiving or the week of Thanksgiving. So you may not have seen the email if you weren't checking that. Now, I had a student yesterday who said no, she didn't get the email. So we started looking around at things, and I'm guessing, this is just a guess, that they sent it only to your new email account, the one that's your A number. Okay? So if you haven't seen the email concerning and they don't even use the term student course evaluations, they just use the term surveys. Check your every email account you have just to see which one they may have sent it to, and that was and what they call it is surveys. So please check that and see and make sure that you've got that. Okay? And please do the student course evaluate. Do the surveys. They're really, really important to the college, to us as instructors, to, all the administrative offices and everybody else. Everyone uses those surveys. So please do the surveys. All right. Now, I've printed at least one paper this morning, and I've gotten word that others have turned it in. I just didn't have time to get all the papers printed this morning. I was answering emails and doing printing of other things as well. So I won't have a shot until 1 to 3 o'clock. I have some time that I'll try to print more. And when I get everything printed, then I'll get to grading. Okay, so that can be a while. I'm sorry I'm behind, but that critical anemia I had for about a month just threw me completely off, and the fact that we did have some problems here, both minor internet problems, but had some, and then my computer and my printer weren't talking to each other well. It's a remote printer, a wireless printer, and it just, I had some difficulties in the middle of the term getting things to print. So it looks like, knock on wood, that's all fixed or running a lot more smoothly than it used to. I'll put it that way. And so I am printing a lot more now, and it's doing a good job of it. It just takes time. It takes time because I'm teaching 7 classes right now, and one of them has labs. So there's it's a big class full of students who turn in labs every week, and then all the tests, all the research papers, all the labs, everything is. I just feel like I'm printing almost all the time that I'm not in class. So I haven't had any chance to grade. But the good news is next week I don't have to do very much in that what I consider a stupid little exercise that they make us do now, which is filling in the overview and the other things on the weekly activities. Do any of you look at those overviews and weekly activities? I hope you do, but do you really? Any of you? I take that to be a no. Okay, but they make us do that, and that takes pretty close, not exactly, but pretty close to an hour a week for each of my courses. That's 7 hours that, and I usually do a lot of them on Sundays, but then I do others on Monday, and there's 7 hours gone that I could have been grading papers or printing papers or whatever. So I'm so glad that I'm almost through with doing those, because next week's final exam, all I have to say is submit your final exam. That's it, and do the student course evaluation, that kind of stuff. All right, now, any questions from you? Any issues, concerns, problems, anything? Okay, wait, here comes Jemiah. Let me get her marked in the class. Just above the blue line. There, we got it. Okay, that gets us up to 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, lucky 7. Let me make sure that's what we've got. No one in the waiting room. Yep, looks like we've got 7 here. All right, now time for you. Any questions? Like I said, I know that Tyler said he had one. He may have already straightened that out, but let me know. Any questions?
Yeah, I still got a question.
Okay, well, what's the question?
I got 2 really. On the test, on number 6.
Okay, this is test 3. Okay, all right. I'm getting it in hand now. Go on, start your talk.
On number 6, the one about the height of the rugby ball.
Okay, wait. Height of the baseball, is that what you said?
The rugby ball.
Oh, a rugby ball or whatever. Okay, I'm still trying to find my copy of that. I found test 2. I'm still looking for test 3. Now, is that somebody else coming in? I just had a really loud beep. Nope, still got 7 students. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm getting closer. Yeah, got it. Number 6. The height of a rugby ball. Yeah. What about it?
The equation.
Yeah.
When I use my graphing calculator.
Okay. What are you putting in?
The 1/64.
Okay, wait. There's supposed to be, wait just a second, let me get Ashford here. I know it's hard to read. It's an error. I found out, a typographical error. I found out after I had printed it, and I wrote it in. Ashford's here. There he is, right below. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. All right. That is a minus sign in front of that. Minus 164 x squared plus 5/8 x plus 3. It's got to be, otherwise the ball keeps going up. Okay, forever, never comes back down again. Okay.
And then on number 8, I just completely blanked on how to do this.
Okay. Describe the right and left hand behavior of this graph. Okay. Now do you have a book?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me refer to you in the book, and I think that will be helpful. Okay, now this was in 2.1 or 2. Yeah, okay, there it is. Okay. On page 125 in the text, is yours an ebook or a physical book? Ebook only, so you don't have page numbers. Okay. Okay. It's section 2.2, and the title of the subsection is the leading coefficient test. Now, I always call it the leading term test because that's a better description of it. But if you look at that, and there's a big illustration on that page of how you answer that question and what contributes to answering the question. Now, let me get Quenisha in here before I miss her. Okay. All right. Very top of the alphabet has 3. A little bit further down we have 2 in a row. Then a little bit further down we have 2 close together, and then at the very bottom we have 2 close together. So y'all are going in groups today. So that gets us up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh, and here's Jakiria. I think she breaks double digits for us. Okay. Jakiria is here. She joins. Good morning. Welcome. She joins the second group. Okay. Y'all are coming in groups. I've got 3, 3, 2, and 2. Okay. And that adds up to 10, I hope. Let me make sure we got 10 here. Yep, 10 students and nobody in the waiting room yet. Okay. Now, Jakiria, you came after Tyler had asked his question on the test 3, which is on the title of it and the whatever you call that, the file name, it was listed as Q2. It used to be Quiz 2, it's now Test 3. Number 6, the rugby ball question, that h of x is negative 1 over 64 x squared plus 5/8 x plus 3. That's the equation. The minus sign I wrote in later, and you may have thought it was a fly speck on the page. And then the second question, actually, yeah, is number 8, and I gave him a page number to go to in the text, page 125, but if all you've got is an ebook, it's in section 2.2, and it's the subtopic called the leading coefficient test. And that page 125 that shows, and then there's a problem or example 2. So find example 2, that will work, and that should be able to answer that question for you. And if you go to the YouTube video, I make a pretty big point about that. So find that on the section 2.2 on the YouTube videos when we were talking about leading coefficient test, only I call it the leading term test. Now, Tyler, is that enough to get you running?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Any others?
How many questions is the final exam?
Okay, the final exam will be actually just what would have been test 4, okay? And it's going to be 10 questions, but they're going to have multiple parts, okay? And actually, question number 10, we may not get to if we don't get to 2.6 today. So you may have only 9 questions, but there's still multiple parts. So it's going to be much shorter. Well, it's going to be like test 1 and 3 in length, not like test 2, which was pretty long. Okay, about twice as long, in fact. Okay, any other questions? Did that answer what you needed there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, let's Okay, so I don't have to use the whiteboard. I was thinking we might have something to do on the whiteboard, but I think Tyler's questions we could just do verbally. So we did that. So let's go back to, oh, and for those who just got in, make sure 2.5, yeah. Here's Terrell. Let me get Terrell here. Okay, the number 1 group has merged with the number 2 group, so now they're up to 7, leaving the other 2 groups 2 and 2. Okay, so that will be 11 students here so far. Hope more will be coming. And well, Terrell, Terrell made it in, but we lost somebody because we've still got only 10 students here. So hopefully that person will be back. So let's go back to current slide here. Okay. Now, Terrell, there were a couple questions before. Okay. There were a couple questions before we got started today, or we were started, but on the third test, which the file name is Q2, okay, and that was number 6, the rugby question. Be sure to note that's a minus sign in front of that first coefficient. What was it? 64 minus 64 x squared plus 5/8 x plus 3 or whatever it was. Okay, so that was it. And then the second question was about number 8, and I referred you to section 2.2, and it was a leading term test. And if you have a physical book, I think was the page number 125 and 126 or somewhere like that. But example 2 and 2.2 and the page right before that will give you, I think, everything you need for number 8. Okay. Now, we are in 2.5, and we're going to try to get as much of 2.5 done as possible. We had done the rational zeros test, and here is the end of what they were talking about there. I think it doesn't look familiar. Let me go up one. Whoa, here comes Tamia. Let me get Tamia in here. Okay. All right. The group at the bottom part of the alphabet is trying to catch up with that at the top part, and the group in the middle is still lingering. Okay. Let me make sure. What were we up to now? Yeah, we should have 12 students here. We only have 11. Let me make sure that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So one person must have had to or gotten bumped out or something. Okay, what I'm going to do is on this slide, if I can get the slide to move, where in the world is this? Oh, I see. Okay. This is past example 2. So I'm going back a slide or 2. Yeah, we've already done example 3. Here's where we are. Okay. So I let it slip by me. Now, for those who just came in, 2 pretty important things. Number 1, please do your student course evaluations. They finally got those open. Whoa, here comes one more. Here's D. So let me get D here. Okay. Now the middle group is beginning to catch up. People came in groups, so I've been calling top group, middle group, and bottom group. Okay. For those who've just come in, let me hit these really important points here. They have finally open the student course evaluations. I think this may have been the week during Thanksgiving. It may possibly have been the week before. We didn't get our email until the week of Thanksgiving, but the students may have gotten theirs earlier because our email said the students have received this, but they didn't say when. So if you haven't seen, and they don't call it student course evaluation, they call it surveys. If you have not seen an email that talks about the course surveys or the surveys, then please check your email. Check every email that you have, okay? That means your one that starts with the A number, the one that may be the old one that was your first initial last name and 4 digits from your old ID number, and also if you have a personal email that you think that everything's coming through, it may not have come through that. A student in yesterday's class could not find her this email I'm talking about. I think she finally found it in the A, that new email address that has been promulgated. Okay, so please check your emails. Please do the student course surveys. If any of you were in a first mini-term class, they didn't have these ready then, so please go back and do your first mini-term course as well. I know it's been 6-7 weeks since you were in there, but see if you can remember enough, maybe even 8 weeks, to do these students survey then. Okay, that's number one. Number two, research papers are due today. Okay, please get them in sometime today. Okay, you can submit them by email, as an attachment to an email, as an attachment to a Blackboard message, or you can send them. I put a in week 15, which is the week we're in, one of the things there that used to say assessment. Say again? Okay. Okay, someone has a microphone on, I believe. Okay, somebody has a microphone on, please. I can't see who it is. All the ones I see, the microphones are off. Okay. Now, still someone's microphone may be on. Okay. But anyway, you can submit it that way if you find that more convenient. To me, that looks like it's more complicated. It looks like an email or Blackboard message would be really easy, but if you're used to doing the things off the weekly activities and that's what you like to do, then by all means send it that way. I'll be checking all those things. They have to be in today, otherwise you'll start losing points if they come in tomorrow. If you've got any tests still out, test 1, test 2, or test 3, please try to get those in as soon as you can. There's no real deadline for them, but I'd rather you have those turned in before you start the next, the final exam. I will be posting the final exam probably between 1 and 3 o'clock today, because that's when I have office hours. If I don't get it done then, it'll be this evening, but one of those two time frames I will try to get the test out there. At the end of class, I will show you what the test looks like and tell you which questions to cover and which are optional. Okay, because we probably, with this late start, probably not going to get it done. So any questions before we get going on the and also for those who came in late, there were 2 questions on test 3 and the file name was Q2. Number 6, there was, when I was typing it, the minus sign did not type, and I found it out too late. I wrote it in ink. That's a minus 64, 1 over 64, x squared plus 5/8 x plus something or another. Okay, that first term in number 6 on test 3, which the file name is Q2, that is a minus 1 over 64 is that coefficient. Okay, and number 8, I referred you to page, I think it's 125 and 126 in the book, but you may not have, if you have an ebook, it's in section 2.2, It's called the leading coefficient test, but actually I like to call it the leading term test. And then example 2 in 2.2 is where they do some examples of that. So hopefully that will get you going on problem number 8 on test 3, which is quiz 2. Okay, I think you're all caught up now. Any questions before we get going on example 2 in section? We're in chapter 2, polynomial rational functions, 2.5, zeros of polynomial functions. And I do have to start at the whiteboard because they don't have example 2 on the PowerPoint. Okay, so let's finally get started here. Find, if possible, the rational zeros of, well, come on, pen. The pen, oh, okay. Now it started doing this yesterday. I don't know why, but the Wacom pen just does weird things. Okay, it just bumped me off the whiteboard. Okay, here we're back. Okay, and the pen's back. It wasn't here before. Here's your f of x, and here comes Ladarius. Okay, I can't get my, okay, let me get Ladarius marked here. Okay, bottom part of the alphabet is making a surge here. They're up to 4 students. The top part has 7, the middle part has 3. Okay, so let's go with this. Now, Ladarius, if you can hear me now, please, if I forget to do this at the end of class, go back and listen to the first part of class on the YouTube video, which probably won't be out there until late this evening, okay? Because I've got 4 classes in a row. The last one is a mini-term class with a lab, so it's over at 7:45. So it'll be sometime after 7:45, probably considerably after 7:45 before I get the videos posted. But please listen to those. Okay. Now let me see if I can get the pen to come back. We're doing example 2 on page 153, section 2.5, zeros of polynomial functions. Okay, f of x is equal to x cubed plus x plus 1. We're looking for the rational zeros of that function. Now, why they started off with an example like this, I don't know, but here it is. Okay, rational zeros are always in the form rational, meaning a ratio, p over q. That's your ratio. What is the p? The p is all the possible factors of the constant term, and that's only plus or minus 1. That's all you got, folks. The q is all the possible factors of your leading coefficient, and that's also a 1. So all you got is plus or minus 1. So the only possible rational zeros you have are plus and minus 1. Now plus 1 is real easy to do. You just plug it in. Plug in a 1, you get 1 plus 1 plus 1. That's equal to 3, and 3 is not equal to 0. So 1 is not a rational zero. The minus 1 you could plug in, but I'm going to show you the other way, is synthetic division. Put the minus 1 outside the house, put your coefficients inside. 1. Now we're missing a square term, so you got to put a 0 in for the square term. Then 1 and 1. Now that was a plus. Yeah, they're all pluses. Okay? Well, skip a line, draw a line, bring down the 1. Negative 1 times 1 is minus 1. 0 plus minus 1 is minus 1. Negative 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And that's a minus 1. That is not a 0. Okay? So negative 1 is not a 0 either. In other words, you have no rational zeros. None. Okay? The only zero you have, real zero you have, is an irrational zero. And we don't know what it is. In fact, I couldn't even give you a really good idea of what it is. You would have to use something like a graphing calculator or something like that to find that zero. The other two zeros, because you see your degree is 3, the other two zeros are complex. They have imaginary parts to them. So you're not going to find those even with a graphing calculator. Okay, but once you find that one with the graphing calculator, you'll have an estimate of what the others are. Okay, so that was example 2. Maybe that's why they didn't have it on the PowerPoint. There was no answer, okay, except that you can't find an answer. That was it. Okay, now there is a checkpoint at the bottom of that page. After that example, please do the checkpoint. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint 2.5 and resume the slideshow. And now we go to, we did example 3 last time. Okay, hopefully you were here, but if you weren't, go back and review that. And here comes Terrell. Okay, he's the one that we lost. Well, I think he was here before, so Terrell's back. I've already got him marked present, so he's back now. Okay, there was example 3. We did example 3. I can't get it to advance. I guess every time someone comes in. Okay, Terrell, your microphone's on. Okay, thank you. All right, and here they say how you can find those. That first zero, they give you several suggestions. But actually, if you find your first zero with a programmable calculator, why in the world don't you find them all that way? But we actually have a better way, or more satisfying way, I'll put it that way. Okay, now that was example 3. All right, let's back up 1, and I believe we are, let me see, yeah. Okay, let's do example 4 on page 155. Again, they don't have it on a PowerPoint. Back to the whiteboard. Any questions so far? Okay, and this is sort of a dumb statement. I probably shouldn't even take class time to make it, but this is, hard to believe, my last full day of teaching. Okay, we got finals coming up. I have another class on Tuesday, a mini-term class, but it's only one class, not a full day by any means. But this is my last full day of teaching, because the month of January I will be doing mostly administrative stuff, and I retire the 1st of February. So this is it, folks, for me. I know y'all still got a ways to go, but I feel like I'm going out on a good class, so glad y'all are participating. All right. Well, thank you. Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, example 4, top of page 155. Find the rational zeros of this function. F of x is equal to 2x cubed. I have to write really slowly or the pen goes nuts. Plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3. All right. Now, again, the rational zeros are a ratio. We call it P over Q, where the ratio is the P is all the possible factors of your constant term. And that in this case is plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 3. That's all, folks. 3 only has those factors. The leading coefficient is your denominator, and that's 2, so it has factors of plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2. And that's all that she wrote there. Okay, so what does that give you? I like to do the integers first. The book likes to do it from small to large. Okay, I'm going to do integers first. Plus or minus 1. When you put these two over that one, all you get is plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3. Now when you use this denominator, that's plus or minus 1/2 and plus or minus 3/2. All right, those are all the possible rational zeros we have. Okay, the first one is, if you go with plus 1, that's the easiest one to check. All you do is add your coefficients. 2 plus 3, because you see you put in a 1 here, that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1. Okay, minus 8 plus 3. Add those together. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8, minus 8, ding, ding, ding. That's a 0, so plus 1, x equal 1 is your first 0. Now, does that mean you don't have to do synthetic division? No, you still do, but it was easy to find. So let's put the 1 outside the house and put the coefficients inside. 2, now notice we're not missing any terms here. 2, 3, negative 8, and 3. I like to go back and count. 1, 2, 3, 4 terms here. One more than your maximum coefficient. That tells me we got them all. Skip a line, draw a line, bring down the 2. Multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. Add. 2 and 3 are 5. Multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. Add. Negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. Multiply. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, just like we expect. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Ding, ding. We know we got that one. What that leaves us with is anytime you wind up with 3 numbers in your quotient down here, go back and put your variables back in. This will be a 2x squared, always drop that by 1, okay, plus 5x minus 3, okay. You always have your constant, linear term, quadratic term. When you get down to 3, you know they're going to look like this. Now we see if we can factor this. Okay, well, 2x squared, the only way it'll factor is 2x times x. Well, then you look at the sign of the last term. It's a negative. It means one of these has to be plus and one has to be minus. We don't know which one. This is called trial and error. And then 3, only possible factorization there is 3 and 1. But we don't know where it goes. I just arbitrarily put them in because it came to my mind that way. Let's see if we did it right. 2x times x is 2x squared. That works. 2x times minus 1 is minus 2x plus 3x. That would only be a plus x. So we got our middle number wrong. That means we have to swap numbers. Okay, so let me go up here, find my eraser, and there it goes, and we'll change and put the 1 there and the 3 there. Okay, so put the 1 here, 3 there. Okay, now let's see what we got. 2x times x is 2x squared. That still works. This will be a minus 6x plus x would be a minus 5x. Wrong again, but we got the right number. We've got the wrong sign. So therefore, change the signs. So we'll go back to our eraser and make this the minus and make this one the plus. Let's try it again. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 3 is 6x. Minus x would be 5x. Minus 3, yes! We've got the complete factorization. And set that equal to 0, because you're looking for the zeros of the polynomial. You got 1, it's over here, x equal 1. Let's solve these two. Well, this tells you if two entities multiply to be 0, that means one of those has to be 0. So either 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, let's add 1 to both sides here, and that gives us 2x is equal to 1. Divide by 2, and you get x equal 1/2. Sure enough, there was your x equal 1/2. Over here, subtract 3 from both sides, and that goes to 0. You get x equal minus 3. There was that one, minus 3 right there. So you see, we identified them. We only found one, and we found that pretty easily just by plugging it in. But once we found it, we use synthetic division to reduce that to a quotient. When you get it down to a quadratic, in other words 3 terms, stop your synthetic division, factor. If you can't factor, go to quadratic formula. Quadratic formula will either produce, if you can't factor, it'll either produce a irrational answer with radicals in it, or it'll produce a complex answer with negative square roots or i's in it. You don't have to worry about the i's. I'm not going to test you on that, but if you ever need those, and if you continue in math, you will need them. Okay, so we got x equal 1, x equal 1/2, and x equal -3. Here are our other two solutions down here. If I could get my pen to show up, there it is. Come on, pen, get on over there. X equal 1/2 and x equal 3. 3 possible solutions. Fundamental theorem of algebra and the linear factorization theorem tells us we would have 3 complex solutions. Well, all real numbers are complex numbers. So we got it. That's followed by a checkpoint. Please do the checkpoint. All right. Now, if that one wasn't bizarre enough, I've got a phone ringing downstairs. It can ring. Okay. Here's one. Example 5, bottom of page 155. Minus 10 x cubed plus 15 x squared plus 16 x minus 12 equal 0. Whoa, boy. Now, when I see that big of coefficients, I like to say, hey, are there any common factors we can factor out? Let's see. This is 2 times 5. This is 3 times 5. So far we've got a common factor of 5. This one's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. This one didn't have a 2 in it. That one did. Nope. There's no common factors. None. So we're stuck with these numbers. Okay? Well, looking for the rational zeros, that'll be P over Q, where P is all the possible factors of your constant term. Whoa, boy, there are a lot of those. That's plus or minus 1, always. Get out of there. Plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, 2 will go into 12. Plus or minus 3, 3 will go into 12. Plus or minus 4, 4 will go into 12. 5 won't, we finally missed one. Plus or minus 6, 6 will go into 12. 7, 8, and 9, and 10, and 11 will not, but plus or minus 12 will. Now, I have a sort of a dumb little way of checking this. 1's multiplied by 12 to give you 12, 2 multiplied by 6 to give you 12, 3 multiplied by 4 to give you 12. That makes me know I've gotten them all. Now, if that was the 9 there, you'd have a 3 in the middle, because 3 times 3 is 9. So you'd have an odd number of factors up there, but that's only when that's the case. Okay, how about our denominator? They're all the possible factors of -10. Ew. That's plus or minus 1 again, because 1 will go into 10, plus or minus 2, because 2 will go into 10, and then you jump up to plus or minus 5, because 5 goes into 10, and plus or minus 10, because 10 goes into 10. And again, these two, whenever you have an even number, your pairs will work out that way. Sometimes even numbers will have an odd number of things, but I misstated that. Oh my goodness, look at how many possible rational zeros we got. Okay, let's start listing them. Plus or minus 1, plus, I like to do the integers first because they're easier. Plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 4. This is when you put all of these over the 1. Okay, that's what we're doing. Plus or minus 6, plus or minus 12. Okay, that's all over 1. Now over 2. That will be plus or minus 1 over 2. Well, 1 over 1 is 1. We've already got that one done. 1 over 2 would be 1/2. Okay, 1 over 5, so plus or minus 1/5. Plus or minus 1/10. Now the book will do them in a different order, but it doesn't matter the order. So let's go with the second up here and all the ones here. I did that wrong. I mean, it's not wrong, but wacko. Okay, sorry about that. 2 over 1 we've already done. 2 over 2 is 1. We've already done that. 2 over 5, that will be plus or minus 2/5. And then 2 over 10 would be 1/5. We've already done that one. So you don't have to repeat any. At least we're losing a few. Okay, 3 over 1 we've already done. 3 over 2 we haven't done. So plus or minus 3/2. 3 over 5 we haven't done. Plus or minus 3/5. And plus or minus 3/10. Goodness gracious, what a list. Okay, let's do 4. 4 over 1 we've done. 4 over 2 is 2. We've already done that one. 4 over 5. We haven't done that one. So let's do plus or minus 4/5. Goodness gracious. Okay. And plus or minus 4 over 10. Well, 4 over 10 is 2/5. We've already done 2/5. Okay. Plus or minus 6 over 1. We've done that one. 6 over 2 is 3. We've done that one. 6 over 5 we haven't done. So plus or minus 6/5. And plus or minus 6/10. That's the fourth one here. That's 3/5. We've already done 3/5. So that's done. Then the last one here, 12. 12 over 1 is 12. We've done that one. 12 over 2 is 6. We've done that one. 12 over 5 we haven't done. Plus or minus 12/5. This is not the best way to do it, but just make sure you get them all. And plus or minus 12 over 10, that would be 6 over 5. We've already done that one. So there we have it, folks. That's only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, and 32 to check. Okay, let's hope we don't have to go that far. So let's start with the easy one, plus 1. That's where I always do that. All you have to do is add your coefficients. Okay, so I'm going to try to do that now. Let me do it down here. Let me scoot it over just a little bit. I'm going to be cheating on this, but I'll show you why. Okay. Okay. All right. That would be minus 10 plus 15 plus 16 and minus 12. Okay? Minus 10 and minus 12 are minus 22, but plus 15 and plus 16 are 31. Not going to work. Okay? So plus 1 is out of there. Okay. Now let's try minus 1. This will do synthetic division. See why I wrote it down here? So I could just go on and use those coefficients. We're not missing any terms. Maximum exponent is 3. We have 4 numbers. We're ready to go. So bring down the minus 10. That gives you plus 10. That gives you 25, which doesn't look promising. That gives you minus 25, which does look a little more promising. That gives you minus 9. That gives you plus 9. That's not going to work. Okay? Minus 1 is also out of there. Okay? So I'm going to get my eraser again. I'll really be using the eraser a lot today. Okay? The minus 10 is going to stay there. These numbers will not. Okay? So, what you want to try next? Why not 2? I like positive numbers better than negative, so we'll try 2 here. 2 times minus 10 is minus 20. That gives you a minus 5. 5. 2 times minus 5 is minus 10. That gives you a 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Ding, ding, ding. We've got us a 0. Okay, so x equal 2. There's our first 0. Okay, and folks, that's all we need because on synthetic division, because this gives us a quadratic. Minus 10x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Okay. Now, frankly, just between you and me, I don't like to lead off with a minus sign. And since all we're doing is looking for zeros, because this is an equation, you can multiply both sides of the equation by the same number, or divide by the same number, as long as it's not 0 in either case. And so let's multiply or divide by minus 1, make that a plus, make that a plus, and make this one a minus. Goodness gracious, this sorry thing. Okay, now that gives you the same zeros. It's just a lot easier to fiddle with. All right, in my mind. Maybe you like using negative signs. I don't know. Okay, let's see if we can factor this. Now, this may be a long process because there's several factors for 10 and there's several factors for 6. So there is another method. Do y'all know what they call the AC method? You want to try that one? This should have been from your algebra class. Or would you rather use quadratic formula? That will work. That'll be a little big numbers, but you can do it. Or you can use the AC method. You want me to show you the AC method? Okay. AC method, remember from the quadratic formula, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 5, and C is equal to minus 6. Now, we could have left the signs the way they were before. That still would have worked. So AC, that means multiply, is 10 times minus 6 is minus 60. Again, that's a huge number. Your B, on the other hand, is 5. Okay? And what we're going to try to do is get factors of minus 60 that add to be positive 5. Okay? That's a little strange, but true. Now, obviously, to have a factor of minus 60, one's going to be plus and one's going to be minus. To add to be a positive 5, that means the plus is the bigger number. So the minus number is the smaller number, the plus number is the larger. So one possibility here is minus 1 times 60. That multiplies to be minus 60, but it adds to be 59. That's not 5, so that one will not work. Okay? Next one, again, make sure the smaller number is a negative. Negative 2 times 30. That adds to be 28. That's not 5, so we throw that one out. But you're getting closer to 5. That's the important thing. Well, minus 3 will go into that, and that would be 20. And minus 3 and 20 would be 17. Well, that's not 5, so we throw that one away too, but you're getting closer to 5. 4 will go into it, so do a minus 4 here times 15. That gives you 11. Well, still not 5, but getting closer, so let's keep going. 5 will go into it. Minus 5 times 12, and that gives you 7. Goodness gracious, we're getting close, but still no cigars. So how about the next one? How about minus 6? Minus 6 times 10. Oh my goodness, that doesn't work, does it? That gives you a 4. And you've already passed 5. Okay? That means there are no rational zeros that work. So that means we do have to use a quadratic formula. Okay? So let's go back and do the quadratic formula. Okay? And that will be x is equal to minus b, and we can use either this one or the one we had to begin with. That would be a minus 5 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 25, minus a, minus 4 times a, which is 10, big numbers here, c, which is minus 6. Thank goodness for that minus sign. Okay, and this will all be divided by 2a, which would be 20. 2 times 10 is 20. Okay, I'm running out of room rapidly. So here we go back to the eraser. I told you I'll be using an eraser a lot today. Okay, please come on, because I don't want to live with all this. I could erase all those things at the top. All those that we found as possible rational zeros, we only use one of them, x equal 2. The rest are irrational, or could be complex, but we know they're going to be irrational. Okay, because of this. This will be minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 25. Now, first thing I do here is count the minus signs. The minus 4 is always a minus sign. The 10 was plus, but the minus 6 was negative, so this turns out being 2 minus signs. That adds to be that multiplies to be a plus. Okay, and then what we have here is 24 times 10 is 240. Oh my goodness, what a number. Over 20. That's a pretty big number itself. So this is minus 5 plus or minus. Oh, and here is PC has come back. I believe that's Shamari. I hope it is. And I already have her in the book, so I don't have to add her to the book. Okay. Shamari, is that you back?
Yes.
Okay. Your microphone's on. Okay. Thank you. Plus or minus the square root of 260. No. 295? 65. That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm sorry. 265. I thought it was 265. My eyes went crooked on me. Okay. Over 20. Now, if I'm not mistaken, 265 is not a perfect square. You can do that, pull out a calculator, and looks like I had 2 missed phone calls up here, but that was hours ago. Okay. Gotta find my, there it is, calculator. And I'm going to turn it sideways because that gets me in, it's my phone, into a scientific calculator. 265, take a square root of it, you get 16.27, blah, blah, blah. Not a perfect square, okay? So therefore, not going to have a rational solution. This will be irrational. Now, I don't know if 265 has any hidden, whatever you call it, perfect squares in it. I'm not going to mess with it. Let's just see. Here are our other two solutions. We need 3. We got 1 here. The other two are x equal minus 5. Now the book did it without changing the sign. So minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 2, plus, not plus or minus, plus square root of 265 over 10. No, over 20. Okay, let's, goodness gracious, this sorry pen is not writing. Okay, so let's see what that gives us. Okay, there was my square root of 265, 16 point something another. I didn't erase it. And so I'll use the positive to begin with, and then subtract 5 from that, and then divide that by 20. So one answer is approximately 0.56. So this is approximately 0.564. I'll put one more digit there. Okay, your other solution is x equal minus 5 minus the square root of 265. Yuck, this thing is so aggravating. 265, and that's over 20. Okay, sorry this pen is doing such a terrible job today. Okay, so that'll be, I'm going to start with my 265. I'm going to turn my calculator so I can do the square root again. 265, square root of that. I'm going to negate that because it's the minus there, and then I'm going to subtract 5 from that, and that gives you minus 21, and so, and then divide that by 20, and that gives me a negative 1 point, I'm going to write it over here somewhere, approximately negative 1.064. Okay, let's see how the book did. They carried it one more digit, negative 1.0639. I don't know why they went another digit, and positive 0.5639. I rounded sooner. So there we have it. Only one rational zero. Thank goodness we had one. Otherwise, we would have been sunk without a paddle. Okay. Oops. Is anyone in the class from Utah, Alabama? Does anyone know? Not that are here. Do you know of anyone who is? I don't know if I should answer this or not. I'm going to try it. Hold on. Good morning, Charles Fowler speaking. They had their shot. Okay. That was example 4. Example 5. Not a very satisfying example. A whole lot of work for one rational zero, okay? But we did show the other two zeros are irrational. If that had been a negative in the radical here, then the other two would have been complex zeros with imaginary components. All right, now we're ready to go back to the slide set. And boy, we're running out of time quickly here, aren't we? Okay, let's go back, resume the slideshow. Okay, and why we're back there. Okay, conjugate pairs. This is on the top of page 156. Now, I'm not going to do too much on this except just show it to you. Note that the pair of complex zeros are conjugates. Now, I don't know why they're saying that. We didn't have they said example 1C. That's where they're referring to. And that was quite a ways back. Okay? And they did show up in conjugate pairs. Okay? If you have irrational zeros, they show up in conjugate pairs. They're just not complex conjugates. Okay? So both irrational, like we just did, minus 5 plus or minus, those are conjugate pairs, the square root of 265 over 20. Those were conjugate pairs. Well, complex numbers show up in conjugate pairs too. Okay? So if f is a polynomial function with real coefficients, now if they have complex coefficients with i's in them, then this is out of there. You can't use this. But if they have real coefficients, but you wind up with a complex solution that is has an imaginary component, then you know, as long as that b is not 0, the other one, because of your quadratic formula, plus or minus, because the I is going to come from that square root. If that square root comes out negative, this will be, you'll come out with an I here, and these will always be in conjugate pairs. So I think that's all I'm going to say about that. They do this one. Find a fourth degree polynomial function with real coefficients that has minus 1, and 3i as zeros. Well, fourth degree polynomial has to have 4 zeros, okay, in the complex number system. You only got 3. Well, guess what? You know the next one is going to be minus 3i, the complex conjugate of that one. Now, it says find the fourth degree polynomial. Well, we change these zeros to factors. This will be x plus 1, x plus 1, x minus 3i, and x plus 3i. To find that fourth degree polynomial, and it says a fourth degree polynomial because it's an infinite number of them. But we'll find the simplest one. Multiply these two together. Well, you know what the product of two complex numbers is. That would be x squared plus 9. The square of this plus the square of that. Okay? X squared plus 9. And this actually is a perfect square here. That would be x squared plus 2x plus 1. If you FOIL it, you'll get that. And then you multiply these two together. It's not quite a FOIL, but it's close to it. That would be x to the fourth when you multiply these two. And then you'll find a 2x squared, no, 2x cubed plus 2x cubed. And then you have the squared terms will be a plus 9x squared from here, and a plus x squared from there. That would be plus 10x squared, and then a plus 18x. Just got to get all the terms in there, plus 9. Okay, I think we got them all. Let's see if that's the answer they got in the book. X cubed, wait. Oh, example 6. I was on the wrong one. X to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 10x squared plus 18x plus 9. Now, I did it really fast because we're running out of time. Take your time with those. Do the multiplication very carefully. Make sure you multiply every term of the first one times every term of the second one. Okay. Now, so we'll just go through that, and that says the same thing. What they did different from I did, they did put an A in front, and that's where your infinite number of solutions comes from, because you could have any number in front. You still have those factors, but you have any coefficient in front. Okay, and for simplicity, we let A equal 1. That's what I did, just not even mess with the A, and that gave you that. Those were the two we multiplied together, and when you did, they didn't show how to do it either. They just came up with the answer. Good for them. Okay. All right. Ooh, boy. I feel like I'm in a race that I'm losing, and it's 9:45. All right, so we didn't get to the point of factoring a polynomial. Sorry about that. So if you have time, oh man, there's a lot of things we didn't get to. I'm so sorry we ran out of time. That one day that I had the treatment, that really cost us, because we would have finished this section easily if I hadn't missed that day. Sorry about that. If you want to do homework exercises, you can do any of the odds 9 through 13. They're all at Calc Chat. 9's at Calc View. 15 or 17, both at Calc Chat. 19 through 27, all at Calc Chat. 25's at Calc View. 29 or 31, both at Calc Chat. 29's at Calc View. 33 or 35, both at Calc Chat. 37 or 39, both at Calc Chat. You don't have to do any of the ones 41 to 45 because they all have I's in them. Same thing with 47 or 49. They both have I's in them. The factoring a polynomial, we just didn't get to. Well, we actually have. If you do your synthetic division, find your zeros, you found your factors. And we really did do that. So if you want to try 51 or 53, you can. They should both be at Calc Chat. And finding zeros of polynomial functions, that's what we were doing before. But all of these 55 through 59 have I's in them, so don't worry about those. Finding zeros of a polynomial function, try those 61 through 71. They're all at Calc Chat. 69's at Calc View. Find zeros of polynomial functions, 73 to 77. They're all at Calc Chat. All right. Unfortunately, we didn't get to Descartes' rule of signs. I think I told it to you earlier, but don't sweat it. Okay. Now, I told y'all at the very beginning I was going to do this for you too. First, I'm going to end the recording. I'm not the recording, in the PowerPoint. Okay. And then I'm going to go to here and go to here and go to here. And I'm going to show you what this is going to be your final exam. Just test 2. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's called test 2 here, T2, but actually it's just the chapter 2 test. Okay, and we've done this back in 2.1. 2.1. These all should look pretty familiar. There's one like Tyler was asking about here. Another one of those. There, you can do all these that you see here. I've got to move y'all out of the way. You're blocking some stuff here. Okay. Everywhere down to wait, I think this is the wrong one. Sorry, that's not it. Oh, you can't see it anyway. Good, you couldn't see that one. Okay, let's go back here. All right. is my other test? Oh, that was word perfect. Where in the world is my other test too? I don't know what's happened to it. I'm going to have to show it to you, not on the PowerPoint. I mean, not on this. Uh, I just was looking at it when Tyler asked his question. Okay. This is it. Okay. This is a pretty lousy way to look at it. Again, that first question you can do. Second, all these down here you can do up to the point where it says Descartes' rule of signs. 9 and 10 you can't do. So when I put this out there, it's going to be a PDF file. It will be, all you have to do is 1 through 8. Okay? 1 through 8. And if you want to try 9 and 10, you can. If you get them right, they're bonus. If you get them wrong, they don't hurt you. If you leave them blank, they don't hurt you. I'm only going to grade 1 through 8. Unless you get 9 or 10 right, then they're bonus points for you. But I won't be grading 9 or 10 if you get them wrong or leave them blank. So 1 through 8, but there's multiple blanks here. Number 1 has 5 blanks. Number 2 only has 1. Number 3 has 2. Number 4 has 4. Number 5 has 4. Number 6 only has 1. Number 7 has 6. And number 8 has 1. So there's quite a few blanks there, so they don't count off so badly each one. But that's all you have to do, 1 through 8. And I'll be posting this probably between 1 and 3 o'clock this afternoon. So watch for it then. If I don't get it done then, it'll be late tonight or early tomorrow. But hopefully 1 to 3 today. Any questions?
Mr. Higginbottom, will this test be in our messages too?
Yes, I'll place it in messages, and I'll try to post it under the after you have the weekly activities things, there's one thing down at the bottom that'll say final exam. It says exams, midterm, and final. I've removed everything to do with midterm, but the name's still there. But if I can, I'll post it there too. So it'll be in 2 places. Definitely in Blackboard message for sure. And then if I can post it, I'll post it under final exam also. Okay, and then how to get it back to me, either send it to me by email, send it to me by Blackboard message, or if you want to figure out how to post it in the final exam thing, you can do that. And I won't tell Mr. Higginbotham you thought he was that ugly. Okay, but never mind. Okay.
Okay, I have another question too.
Okay.
So you did say that next Tuesday is your last day teaching, right?
No, today is my last full day teaching. I do teach on Tuesday 1 class, my mini term 2 class. Why?
Okay.
Yeah.
So after today, this is it for us.
Oh, yes. We don't meet now. We can meet if you want to. I can set up a Zoom meeting for Tuesday and or Thursday if you think you may have questions. Do you want to have a Zoom either Tuesday or Thursday? Because once I give you the final, all that's left is turning in your work. So you can do that electronically. But if you want me to be available either Tuesday or Thursday, 8:30 to 9:45, I can set up a Zoom and I'll be here. I'll be grading papers. If anyone comes by, I'll let you in and we'll answer whatever. Do you want me here either Tuesday or Thursday?
That's not necessary.
Okay.
But are you still rounding grades?
Of course.
Okay. Well, I have no further questions.
Okay. Good deal. Now, I think, Shamari, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question about, I was doing my homework on Sunday.
Right.
Not out of the book.
Right.
Ended on Sunday, so how am I supposed to turn in my homework assignment? Because I can't find it like everybody else do this.
Okay. You broke up at the end. I couldn't hear your question. I heard all the stuff about Cengage. Terrell, your microphone's still on, and I can't hear Shamari.
I said, how am I I supposed to do the homework assignment, like for 2.5 and I think like 2.4, like on Cengage, I was doing it on Cengage.
Right.
I left off on 2.2
Right.
and 2.3, 4, or 5, and it ended. The term ended on Cengage, I think on December. So it like I can't turn it anywhere in.
Okay. That is Cengage's fault. I have no control over that. But you don't have, do you still have an ebook?
I mean, I don't know how to get to my homework assignment if I do have it.
Okay, well, okay. If you have an ebook, if you can access, if you could access Cengage, but you say that's completely gone, are the rest of you, did you have that problem too? Is your ebook gone? Say again?
I said, 'cause that's what I paid for, Cengage.
Okay, I know. Okay. But you see, if you paid for Cengage Unlimited, that means you should have access to an ebook. And you should have access to all the WebAssign. That's what you were using was WebAssign, not Cengage, but WebAssign, right?
Right.
Now, that means you do have access to an ebook, or you did. I don't understand the fact you're saying that Cengage ended or WebAssign ended in sometime earlier in December. That's wrong. I mean, do any of the rest of you have that problem that your WebAssign, WebAssign and Cengage Unlimited, did that end in December? Anybody?
No, for one of my classes like medical terminology, I still am able to access Cengage.
Right. So there's something wrong. And if I were you, Shamari, I would email Cengage and, well, I don't know if you got an email for them, but see if you can get in some ways, get in touch with them, because you should still have access, even if WebAssign ended, which it shouldn't have. But the thing is, if you have submitted work for at least half of your uh, weeks, which I think you have, you're in good shape. So you don't have to worry about submitting another problem for this week because this is right before finals. Okay? So now to practice on, that's a different issue. I think you should really complain to Cengage. I don't know how to get you information to. Are any of you in communication with Cengage at all? If you could give Shamari, uh, a chat or something like this and let her know how you get in touch with them, you should still be able to access WebAssign and you should still be able to access your ebook. And if you can't, that's a Cengage problem. I can't really do a lot with it because I don't use either of those, but I do get in touch with them through a guy, but that guy has nothing to do with turning on and off WebAssign. So I'm sorry, I don't know what to say about that. Go to the bookstore and give your problem to them. Tell them what your issue is there. They should be able to get that reactivated because they, I know, are in contact with the people, or they should be with the people at Cengage. So there is a bookstore email address. Get in touch with them that way. That's probably the best thing to do. Sorry, I don't know how to handle that problem. Okay, sorry about that. I think I just saw your, let's see. Yes, this is the one I was looking for. The one I held up for you to see. This is the oh, you can't see it. Okay. All right. Here's that test. I knew I had it. I just couldn't see it. Here is the test, and it looks a lot like the other one. It's called Test 2. This is going to be your final. Question 1 has five parts to it. Question 2 has 1. 3 has 2. 4 has 4. That's a lot like the one Tyler was asking about. 5 has 4. 6 has 1. 7 has 6 parts to it. 8 has 1. And then I have to move y'all out of the way again. 9 and 10 are optional. Okay, that's the one. That's the one I knew I had a copy of it. I just didn't know where it was. So there's your final exam. 9 and 10 are completely optional. 1 through 8 are required. And I'll try to have this posted out there sometime between 1 and 3 o'clock today. Okay? Any other questions? I have another class starting right now. So, any other questions? Well, folks, you've been a fun class. It's been good. I wish you the best in your future studies, and take care of yourselves. Do not risk catching this virus. It is outrageously out of control right now. Be safe. Protect yourself, protect your families, protect the people you care about. Be safe. Please do. Okay? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. And we've already lost a lot of people, but the rest of you, you may not even be listening anymore. But if so, please take care and get in touch with me. I'm going to be in the office all next week, grading papers like crazy. Email me, whatever. Do a message on Blackboard. I'll be checking both of those all week long, so please get in touch if you have questions. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.
Mr. Higginbotham.
I'm Fowler. Okay, what you got?
I'm sorry.
What you got, please?
Can you tell? Well, is our average posted or anything like that?
No, okay. When I had the severe anemia, the critical anemia, I got way behind on grading, way behind on printing even. So no, it's not out there. That's what I'm going to be working on the rest of this week and next week. I'll get it there as soon as I can. Okay? All right. Take care.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, Kiwan, can you hear me yet? Can anyone hear me yet? Oh, I don't have audio on yet. Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My other class had so many questions right at the end. I just dismissed them. I've got to go to the bathroom, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell if anyone else comes in, but if you do get a chat from them or anything, tell them I'm coming right back, okay? All right. Bye-bye. I'm sorry that some of you were stuck in the waiting room for a bit uh, because my last class had so many questions at the end of the class. It took me right up until 10 o'clock, and still this one student was saying, "Mr. Higginbotham, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "The name's Fowler." Okay. But finally, uh, I got all the questions. Well, I don't know if I answered them all successfully, but I told them I had to go because I had another class, but I didn't have a break in between classes, and I had a bladder break, so I had to run downstairs and and relieve. So that's why you were stuck in the waiting room for a little while. So let me get caught up on the grade book because I wasn't able to do that as you were coming in. We have Alondra here. Okay. We have Morgan here. Okay. We have Jermisha here. Okay. We have Kiwan here. I think he was the first one in. Okay. Kelly's here. Okay. Matthew's here. He was one of the early ones I know. Okay. Terrell's here. And Victoria's here. Okay. That should be 8 students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So now because the last class took forever getting off, I still have all their stuff up. So let me go through this stuff and get it down. That's not one. Okay, that's something I can get rid of. Okay. All right, that's gone. Now, I just heard a ding. I don't know what that means. Let's see if any other students are waiting. I don't see any other waiting. We still have 8 students. So let me go back to this. All right, that was the PowerPoint for the first class. That's the PowerPoint we didn't get to in the first class. Okay. Now, sorry about the... Oh, wait. Goodness gracious.